Yo, go, 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 go. What's going on, G-Dot family? Look, man, we back at it with Karma Strikes. Don't know how it strike, but we finna find out. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe with the notification bell, and go shop at dre.us, deiari.us. See what I'm saying? We want to get the latest, hottest new on Fun Grave. Let's get it.
Nobody wins when the family feels.
Police say Brown killed his one-time girlfriend, Cassandra Jones, in the 1400 block of Iberville Street. According to a witness, Brown shot Jones in the back. Video showed a man carrying a long gun walk up to Jones, who was struggling on the ground, and shoot her 2 more times.
God damn.
As a black woman and someone being gunned down in our city, totally unacceptable. The apprehension of Mr. Brown, something that we absolutely celebrate. I do.
Right now, the search continues for a man New Orleans police say shot and killed a woman on Iberville Street, then drove to Middle Tennessee, where police there say he shot a police officer.
I could see it in her eyes and hear it in her voice that she was afraid to leave and go home.
This was a black woman that was brutally gunned down, murdered.
You know, some people say you can't get arrested for the crimes that you did, and they know you did it. Sometimes street justice is even more satisfying. But it's even rare you get both. People in the streets often rather see street justice before you get locked up, especially when they lost a loved one to gun violence. Losing somebody you love to such senseless act can lead to individuals and communities to seek retribution outside of the legal system.
Yeah.
We always speak on how assuming having someone get locked up is a symbol of closure, but this complex emotional landscape highlights how deeply personal tragedies can shape perceptions of justice.
Now, for real though, because I ain't gonna lie, once you get into the territory of you start hitting family members, like you smoking people mamas, you smoking people daddies, you hitting cousins, brothers, aunties, uncles, a lot of people, even in your own gang, get to getting at you because you doing wild shit. Like, that's not thorough, bro. That's not what you're supposed to be doing out here in the street. So if that's what you're doing, a lot of niggas don't respect that. And if they don't respect that, they don't respect you. If they don't respect you, then niggas, yeah.
Justice and even sympathy. But fam, can you imagine a scenario where both inmates and law enforcement share a mutual dislike for an individual? That's what we got here today. A man who took his girlfriend's life on camera, broad daylight, using an assault rifle, overkill. And while on the run, he shot an officer before being captured. Make a long story short, before trial even started, he lost his life. Today we go over this story, pay our respects to the victim, talk about the details, and what we know far as the public today. But before we go over this one, I want you guys to remember, I won't give you no angle, I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll jump right to it. Family, today we visit a place where they known and struggle with high crime rates. New Orleans, Louisiana. Back in 2022, the year this incident occurred, the city had reported an increase in violent crimes, including homicides and aggravated assaults. The city had one of the highest homicide rates in the nation, reports indicating that the number of homicides was notably higher compared to previous years. And this was no different on June 27, 2022, where a mom of 3, who was identified as Cassandra Jones, was shot multiple times in broad daylight. The murder was recorded on a cell phone video from a nearby apartment. Unfortunately, the person released it to the public via social media.
What?
The New Orleans Police Department identified the killer as Jones' ex-boyfriend, B.J. Brown, a man who wasn't new to law enforcement, arrested 15 times in the last 5 years.
Damn.
Cassandra Jones had a temporary restraining order against B.J. in the prior month. Now, the mother's apartment building was in the Iberville neighborhood. Her twin daughters, who was 19 years old at the time, was living in Jackson, Mississippi with their father, frantically trying to call their mother, but got no answer. Eventually, the older sister, Akeelia Jenkins, reached out to them to say that their mother had been shot and was in the hospital. The twins had raced to New Orleans, and every so often, they would get pictures texted them of their mother lying on the sidewalk outside of her apartment building.
And whoever was sending her that shit, bro, y'all bogus as hell on Photo Grave. I don't care if that shit was trending on the internet or what. You don't send nobody no picture like that. Like, hell no. That's like when Vine died and they released his autopsy and people. I know people were sending that shit to people, bro. That shit bogus as hell. I ain't never even trying to see it. I didn't even see that. They need to stop, man. Y'all gotta calm down, bro. Everybody don't need to see everything.
The image was circulating rapidly on social media. The daughters heard Jones had been shot 3 times in the leg, and they couldn't wait to get to the hospital to give her a hug and talk about what happened. Instead, they were greeted by a doctor who told them their mother had died from surgery. After they identified their mother's body, the grieving daughter started walking out of the hospital when they were stopped by a friend of Jones who began showing them a cell phone, quoting, "Look at this," Jania said the woman told them before showing her a video circulating online of BJ Brown shooting their mother with an assault rifle. Quote, "We didn't know that we were about to watch that," Jalen said. One of the twins started throwing up and the other started crying. They hadn't realized that there were video footage of the incident, and they said they certainly would have decided not to watch it, especially at the moment. Jania said she still replayed that video in her head, hearing her mother shout for help, and sometimes has nightmares that she was the one shot. Jalen said she doesn't like to ever be alone anymore, so that she doesn't replay the scene entirely. Quoting, "My heart is broken into pieces. We don't know when we're going to get justice for what he did to my mama." End quote. And at this time, BJ Brown still wasn't arrested. BJ ended up going hundreds of miles away to Tennessee, outside of Nashville, where authorities say he shot a police officer during a traffic stop and ran into the woods. This was an area that only had a staff of 6 officers.
Right now, the search continues for a man New Orleans police say shot and killed a woman on Iberville Street, then drove to Middle Tennessee, where police there say he shot a police officer.
It's a shocking case now that has gone across the state. Law enforcement officers all over the Southeast looking for the man that's on your screen right now. This is 32-year-old BJ Brown. Well, tonight we're learning more about the relationship Brown may have had with the woman he's accused of killing, Cassandra Jones.
Investigators say Brown shot and killed Jones around 9:30 yesterday morning. He then drove more than 500 miles to Erin, Tennessee. That's northwest of Nashville. And as Mike McDaniel explains in tonight's top story, court records point to past domestic abuse and a petition for protection that never happened.
Wanted for murder, New Orleans police are looking for 32-year-old BJ Brown, accused of killing a woman who family members identify as Cassandra Jones.
This was a black woman that was brutally gunned down, murdered.
It happened Monday morning inside an apartment complex in the 1400 block of Iberville Street. A witness tells Eyewitness News Brown shot Jones in the back. She ran, then collapsed. That's when video circulating online shows a man walk up to Jones with a long gun, shooting her at least 2 more times. Family members of Jones say she and Brown used to date, and according to court records, there's a history of domestic abuse. Jones filed a petition for protection back in May, accusing Brown of multiple forms of abuse: physical, mental, financial, and sexual. In a written statement, Jones wrote Brown even tried to smother her with a pillow after an argument. The clerk of court says a temporary restraining order was never put in place because, for whatever reason, Jones never proceeded with it. She even worked in the office as a deputy clerk for the last year.
New Orleans is known for crime, and domestic violence is kind of serious in our community.
Chris Davis lives near where the murder happened and is shaken by it.
It was just awful. It shouldn't happen. That type of stuff shouldn't happen in broad daylight in a normal community, you know?
And it didn't end in that community. Brown is also linked to shooting an officer Monday night while on the run, 530 miles away near Erin, Tennessee, west of Nashville. That's where an emotional police chief, Mark Moore, says an officer tried to make a traffic stop, only to be shot by Brown before he ran away.
Make no mistake whatsoever, this was an ambush on an officer.
Moore says that officer is expected to survive. This type of crime in New Orleans has activist Amir Baraka worried about the future of the city.
When a young man can walk with a machine gun, shoot a woman, and just walk around the apartment building, then come back and finish it off, that's bold. That's bold. He don't give a damn.
A bold move caught on video, now etched in the minds of the community. Mike McDaniel, Eyewitness News.
He was eventually taken into custody after a statewide manhunt. Now, the only update that Cassandra's family and her daughters received was from Tennessee authorities about BJ Brown's upcoming trial in 2024. It ended up being pushed back to 2025, and that was only for the attempted murder of the police officer. The last time they heard from New Orleans authorities was 2023, after their mother was killed, when a U.S. Marshal told them he would keep them updated on any future court dates. Now, Jones' family said they called the U.S. Marshals throughout the years, but hasn't gotten a response on their request for updates. But unfortunately, B.J. Brown wouldn't be able to make trial for neither case. He got a life sentence and a plea agreement for the attempt M on the officer. But far as Cassandra, her family never got justice. Or maybe until recently. Now 34 years old, B.J. Brown lost his life while in jail on November 17, 2024. And the only thing authorities is releasing is it was no foul play.
Arrest until he was located and prosecuted and justice served, whether it be by a jury or Jesus.
And a WWL.
I ain't gonna lie though, like, that's one thing that don't last long in any jail, any prison. It feds nothing. R words, N words, and cop killers or cop shooters. They don't last too long. And like a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, can say what they want to say and do what they want to do. But if you any of them, or you just a straight weirdo, like you got a weird ass case, like you just did some Jeffrey Dahmer shit, or you feel me? You're done. You're done. You do any of them things, over with.
Exclusive, we've confirmed a man accused of gunning down a New Orleans mom has died in a Tennessee prison. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Sharice Gibson. Katie is off tonight. B.J. Brown was serving time there for shooting a police officer. Paul Murphy reports Brown passed away before he could stand trial for crimes in New Orleans.
34-year-old B.J. Brown died in a Tennessee prison where he was serving a life sentence for the attempted murder of a police officer. In June 2022, police say Brown killed his one-time girlfriend, Cassandra Jones, in the 1400 block of Iberville Street. According to a witness, Brown shot Jones in the back. Video showed a man carrying a long gun walk up to Jones, who was struggling on the ground, and shoot her 2 more times.
This very violent perpetrator took Miss Jones's life in a very brazen way. It's on video, and went on the run.
According to police, while on the run from New Orleans, Brown shot a police officer during a traffic stop in Erin, Tennessee. Erin Police Chief Mark Moore said while his department and
hell no, gang, I ain't really with all that, gang. I ain't gonna lie to you. His ass, he got what he deserved. Up to me, it wouldn't even made it that far. Police would have smoked it. Just for both attempts. Like, you shot a police officer for no reason and you just smoked a woman. Yeah, I would have. Man, the police probably handled that behind closed doors, though. The only reason a lot of shit go down in prison because the COs let it happen. Who you think calling the shots? COs or the prisons?